Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. The Sergio Martinez, Kelly Pavlik fight ended about 2 hours ago, and I just wanted to give my post-fight thoughts. It's been a good night. I really appreciate the great feedback I've gotten here on YouTube, but let me just say that gambling carries huge risk. And the opinion that you should always rely on and trust the most is yours. Just consider my videos to be a second opinion from another fight fan. I'm the guy seated next to you at the bar. Okay? Let me just point out, I believe that this fight showed us a big truth in boxing. Um, People who follow my videos know that I don't believe that gamblers should take the rankings too seriously because even when you have legitimate champions, that does not mean that that champ can beat all 10 of the ranked contenders. Styles make fights. And when we talk about styles, you're talking about completely different interpretations of the sport, completely different objectives. Now, for those of you who have taped the fight, I want you to go back and look at the knockdown of Sergio Martinez by Kelly Pavlik. Let me tell you, this fight was even more lopsided than it appeared. Because if you look at that knockdown, you're going to see that Martinez trips over Kelly Pavlik's foot. In other words, that knockdown, which at best was a flash knockdown, is even worse than that. It's not even a knockdown. That's a trip because if I push you and you trip over my foot and you fall, that shouldn't be a knockdown. I understand that Pavlik landed a punch. Martinez was then trying to back away and tripped over Pavlik's leg. HBO missed that. Anyone who saw the Arthur Abraham fight against the Matrix, Andre Durrell, will recall that Andre Durrell fell under similar circumstances, and there the referee called it a trip. I believe an argument can be made that what HBO was touting as a 10-8 round, Harold Lederman of HBO, against Sergio Martinez should have been scored at worst a 10-9 round. And if you take that knockdown, in quotes, out of the match, I believe that Sergio Martinez pretty much dominated most of this fight. Now, another thing to look at, count the body shots landed by Kelly Pavlik. They're non-existent, folks, because Sergio Martinez's interpretation of the sport has him so far away from Kelly Pavlik during lulls in the action that Pavlik could not hit Martinez's body. That's by design. Don't be fooled by Martinez's athleticism. This is a highly analytical guy. In fact, he was the counterpuncher in the fight. And understand the difference between lead punchers and counterpunchers. Both can be wildly successful. But lead punchers are looking at different cues than counterpunchers. A lead puncher, like the great Rocky Marciano, was just in there trying to create openings by punching. So Rocky Marciano, when you had your hands up, he'd hit you on your forearms. The idea was he was going to make it painful for you to have your hands up. In fact, I've seen hardcore lead punchers, including Rocky Marciano, aim for your biceps because the idea is they're going to make it painful for you to move your arms. So they're just in there looking for skin to land on. Now contrast that with Sergio Martinez, who literally is analyzing Kelly Pavlik's fight pattern. And understand, this is a different language in boxing. He's analyzing the fight pattern just like other counterpunchers, Evander Holyfield, Chad Dawson, Juan Manuel Marquez, Floyd Mayweather. These guys are literally looking for patterns, so they know when Kelly Pavlik throws his right hand and it's extended, then his power hand is already neutralized because it's already extended, and they can leap in and throw combinations. Let me go further. Even the idea of a combination, again, these are different languages. Kelly Pavlik was trying to set up a straight right hand, right? So he's shooting a jab. He's a 1-2 fighter. He's shooting a left jab, hoping to come right over the top with the right hand, right? His hook, which he can only throw when he's close to you, already is taken out of the equation because he can't get close to Martinez, who's using foot movement and spacing to his advantage, right? Never ignore spacing. You always, in analyzing fighters, want to figure out what's their comfort zone, what's not their comfort zone in terms of spacing, and can the other fighter take them out of their comfort zone, right? Now, contrast that with Martinez's interpretation of the sport, his language. Martinez is coming in throwing combinations. Some of his combinations he led with the left, some of his combinations he led with the right, but his was a two-handed approach. You'll even notice that Martinez doesn't even double up with one hand often. He's literally coming in and throwing combinations. So, in the same sport, these guys have vastly different interpretations of the same sport. Kelly Pavlik wins if this fight's in a phone booth. Kelly Pavlik is fighting. Sergio Martinez is boxing. Martinez, like Manny Pacquiao, like David Haye, Martinez is using the entire ring. And let me also point out, too, that, Kelly Pavlik, the entire fight, is feverishly trying to keep his left leg in front of his right leg. He needs a certain stance to make sure that he's cocked and ready to throw a power punch, right? So he's worried about footwork. He doesn't want to tip off his punches. He knows he can't cross over his legs because if he has his right leg in front of his left leg, then of course Martinez is going to know that he doesn't have the leverage to throw his right hand from distance. He's not close enough to hit Martinez with the left hook, so he's in effect defenseless. Now contrast that with Martinez's footwork, and keep in mind, Martinez is blessed with foot speed. But of course, Martinez is breaking all the rules. His feet are so fast, he can just cross over his legs. He can walk away at times from Kelly Pavlik. He's literally dropping his hands and walking in front of Kelly Pavlik because, of course, he is completely coordinated and has done this his entire career, and he knows how to read Pavlik. He knows that at certain distances, Kelly Pavlik can't touch him with either hand. Let me also point out, too, you've heard many people say, oh, a fighter has to do these things the right way. He should keep his hands up at all times. That's a fiction. That's the right way in only one language, right? Contrast that with Sergio Martinez's language, where he's conserving energy by keeping his hands down, and when he has his hands down, he has total visibility of the ring, right? His hands are down. He doesn't have his hands up. He doesn't have to look through his hands to see the other guy. He can see the other guy and dodge punches. Several elite fighters dangle their hands. Look at Carl Froch when he stands in front of you. Look at the great Lennox Lewis when he stood in front of you. Look at Roy Jones. You'll see often these guys just have that left hand dangling. That's not recklessness by them. That's actually reading an opponent. That's also setting a trap at times because some of these guys, like Roy Jones, want you to think that he's defenseless, that you can leap in, and of course, timing in boxing is underrated. A guy like Sergio Martinez knew that when Kelly Pavlik leapt in, he had a second to get punches off on Pavlik's head because Pavlik has a problem moving and punching at the same time. Kelly Pavlik will come back with the right matchup. He could be a devastating knockout puncher. But Sergio Martinez tonight was the wrong matchup for him based on styles. The point I'm making simply is boxing has several languages and no one right way to do things. Thanks for watching.